If you're upset by the casting of Lupita Nyong'o as Helen in the Odyssey, I'm going to take about 90 seconds to show you why nobody takes you seriously and no one gives a shit about your little hurt feelings. One of the main people leading the charge is Elon Musk. How can anyone take Elon Musk seriously, right, when he was begging to come to the island? He was begging to come to the island on Christmas. We can have a conversation about historical accuracy, right, but the Odyssey is not a documentary, this is mythology. Helen's parents are the god Zeus and either a goddess named Nemesis or a princess named Leda, who Zeus disguised himself as a swan to essay. Same Zeus, by the way, that can throw lightning bolts and turn himself into a cow. This is the mythology that you are getting upset over. Even if the Odyssey was straight up history, you didn't care about historically inaccurate armor in Troy. You didn't care about the modern umbrella in Troy. You didn't care about the Aryan German actor playing Helen. You want Greeks, right, in these stories. You want Greek representation. Well, this was a German actor, Diane Kruger. Getting a lot of people putting her up on a pedestal as a perfect casting, right, and comparing her to Lupita. You didn't care about historical accuracy in 300, or Prince of Persia, or Alexander, or The Passion of the Christ, or the new Passion of the Christ, where the actor is from Finland. You literally could not get farther away genetically from what Jesus was with a Finnish actor. You didn't care about historical accuracy when it came to Braveheart. Braveheart was dealing with very real history, very real historical figures, and this is all basically make-believe, right? But it's a good story. It's an artistic representation of what happened. You didn't care about historical accuracy in one of the least accurate movies ever made, The Patriot, right? Because it tells a good story. You didn't care about historical accuracy in Gladiator either, did you? Pushing aside the history, you didn't even care about mythological accuracy, right, in Troy, which was an adaptation of the Iliad, because Achilles and Patroclus were lovers. They were not cousins. They changed this so it wouldn't hurt your fucking feelings. Achilles' rage at the killing of his lover is one of the driving forces in the entire Iliad. You guys also didn't care that the story that took place over 10 years was condensed into 15 days, right? You didn't care that Agamemnon was killed in the movie when in the story he survived. Just like you didn't care that Paris survived in the movie when in the Iliad he dies. You didn't care that they changed Helen's entire backstory in the film. Now that you have Christopher Nolan tackling the Odyssey, which is not the Iliad, guys, these are actually separate stories. You keep comparing this stuff. I think you think they're the same story. This is its own thing, right? Helen of Troy is mentioned 23 times in the Odyssey, and 11 of those are in book 4, right? This is a side character. But now we have this casting, you are pissing your pants. The only actual requirement for Helen of Troy is being beautiful, which Lupita Nyong'o is. And the only requirement Christopher Nolan had was, are you a good actor? This is a woman who gave one of the best performances in a horror movie ever in a great film that is not talked about enough that I think is better than Get Out. While she'll be in the Odyssey, you have to pretend you care, right? You have to pretend you care about the Iliad, you have to pretend you care about the Odyssey and Greek mythology, all this shit that you don't actually care about, and guess what? You're still gonna go sit your big dumbass down and watch the movie regardless, most likely just a grifter. It's the cold hard truth of this, and when this movie is successful with your help, right, you can go cry into your pillow.